Hermione Granger's birthday? Do you recall all 3 tasks in the Triwizard Tournament? Well, those answers and more can be found here in the Hogwarts Timeline. Hogwarts founded by Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. Lord Voldemort opens the Chamber of Secrets, Moaning Myrtle killed. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington dies from near decapitation. Hagrid expelled. Aragog escapes to the Forbidden Forest. Albus Dumbledore defeats the dark wizard Grindelwald. Harry Potter born to James and Lily Potter. After Lord Voldemort kills Lily and James Potter, Hagrid rescues Harry and delivers him to his aunt and uncle on Privet Drive. Letters to Harry Potter from Hogwarts arrive at the Dursleys by the hundreds. Rubeus Hagrid rescues Harry on his 11th birthday from the Dursleys at the hut on the rock. Hagrid takes Harry to Diagon Alley to purchase supplies for Hogwarts. After Harry withdraws money from Gringotts, he purchases his work robes, course books, cauldron, files, and a wand. Harry Potter catches the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross. On board, Harry befriends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. The Sorting Hat places Harry, Hermione, and Ron into Gryffindor House. Harry has tea with Hagrid in his hut near the Forbidden Forest. The Halloween feast is interrupted by a mountain troll who nearly kills Hermione but is defeated by Harry and Ron. Gryffindor beats Slytherin in a Quidditch match when Harry catches the golden snitch in his mouth. Harry receives his father's invisibility cloak as a present. He discovers the Mirror of Erised and sees his parents again. Harry receives his father's invisibility cloak as a present. He discovers the Mirror of Erised and sees his parents again. Harry, Ron and Hermione follow Quirrell through the trapdoor, which leads them to a giant game of wizard chess. Ron successfully guides Harry and Hermione through. Harry learns that Lord Voldemort lives within Quirrell and seeks the Sorcerer's Stone as his elixir of life to create a new body. Harry successfully defeats Lord Voldemort and the Sorcerer's Stone is destroyed. With the addition of 170 extra points, Gryffindor upsets Slytherin in the House Cup. Harry Potter's 12th birthday. Dobby, the Malfoy's house elf, visits Harry at the Dursleys and warns Harry Potter must not go back to Hogwarts. Dobby, the Malfoy's house elf, visits Ron Weasley with brothers Fred and George, helps Harry escape the Dursleys in a flying Ford Anglia. On his way to Diagon Alley via flue powder from the Weasleys' fireplace, Harry accidentally arrives at Borgin and Burke's in Nocturne Alley. Lucius Malfoy slips Tom Riddle's diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron. After missing the Hogwarts Express, Harry and Ron fly the Ford Anglia to Hogwarts, where they crash into the Whomping Willow. Mrs. Weasley sends Ron a howler. "If you put another toe out of line, we'll bring you straight home!" Gilderoy Lockhart, Hogwarts' new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, unleashes Cornish pixies, resulting in pandemonium. Mandrake repotting. Harry hears the basilisk's voice. Hermione's 13th birthday. Hermione steals bicorn horn and boomslang skin from Snape's office. During a duel with Draco, Harry speaks Parseltongue to a snake. Justin Finch-Fletchley petrified in third basilisk attack. A victim of improper transformation, Hermione is partially changed into a cat. Harry and Ron drink the polyjuice potion, transforming into Crabbe and Goyle. Hagrid is sent to Azkaban as a precaution. Dumbledore is removed as headmaster of Hogwarts. Hermione is petrified in fourth basilisk attack, curfew instated. Harry and Ron confront and escape Aragog in the Forbidden Forest. Harry, Ron and Lockhart enter the Chamber of Secrets. Harry saves Ginny and defeats the basilisk with the assistance of Fawkes. Professor Sprout and Madame Pomfrey revive basilisk victims who are then released from the hospital. Gryffindor wins Hogwarts Cup. Dumbledore is reinstated as headmaster. Dobby is freed when presented with Harry's sock from Lucius Malfoy. Hagrid returns from Azkaban. Harry Potter's 13th birthday. Aunt Marge arrives at the Dursleys for a week's visit. Harry receives Ron Weasley's letter and a newspaper clipping from Egypt. Harry inflates Aunt Marge like a monstrous balloon. After leaving the Dursleys, Harry is picked up by the night bus, where he reads of Sirius Black's escape from Azkaban. The night bus drops Harry off at the Leaky Cauldron, where he is checked into room 11 by Cornelius Fudge. After purchasing school supplies in Diagon Alley, Ron and Hermione reunite with Harry at the Leaky Cauldron. Hermione purchases Crookshanks from the magical menagerie. Professor Lupin drives the Dementors away from Harry with a Patronus charm aboard the Hogwarts Express. Professor McGonagall gives the time turner to Hermione, who swears she won't tell anyone. Malfoy is injured by Buckbeak during Hagrid's Care of Magical Creatures class. With his injured arm in a sling, Malfoy returns to classes. A bug art is demonstrated by Professor Lupin in a defense against the dark arts class. Hermione Granger's 14th birthday. Harry chats with Professor Lupin while Ron and Hermione visit Hogsmeade for the first time. The Halloween feast is enjoyed with sweets from Honeydukes and entertainment from the Hogwarts ghosts. The fat lady in the portrait vanishes after being slashed, forcing all the students to sleep in the Great Hall. Hufflepuff beats Gryffindor at Quidditch after Dementors cause Harry to pass out and fall nearly 50 feet to the ground. Waking up in the hospital wing, Harry learns his Nimbus 2000 was destroyed by the Whomping Willow. After Professor Lupin returns to class, he agrees to give Harry anti-Dementor lessons. After Harry receives the Marauder's map from Fred and George, he is finally able to visit Hogsmeade. At the Three Broomsticks with Ron and Hermione, Harry overhears that Sirius Black was his parents' secret keeper and his godfather. Hagrid receives a letter informing him that a hearing for Buckbeak is scheduled with the Committee for the Disposal of Dangerous Creatures. The Hogwarts Express returns the students to Hogwarts after Christmas holiday. Professor Lupin begins teaching Harry the Patronus charm to shield himself from Dementors. Ron discovers that Scabbers is missing and blames Crookshanks. Harry, Ron and Hermione visit a distraught Hagrid, who is concerned about the fate of Buckbeak. Hagrid learns that Buckbeak is to be executed. Ron Weasley's 14th birthday. Hermione punches Malfoy's face in defense of Hagrid. Harry, Hermione and Ron visit Hagrid just before Buckbeak is scheduled to be executed. Ron is dragged into the Whomping Willow by a dog. Harry and Hermione arrive at the Shrieking Shack and discover the truth about Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Harry and Sirius Black are attacked by the Dementors near the lake. Professor Dumbledore instructs Harry and Hermione to use the Time Turner to go back in time. Harry and Hermione rescue Buckbeak moments before his scheduled execution after seeing their earlier selves enter Hagrid's hut. Harry drives away the Dementors at the lake with a Patronus charm after seeing his earlier self succumb to the Dementors. Harry and Hermione free Sirius Black from the tower, allowing him to fly to freedom with Buckbeak. Harry Potter's 14th birthday. Lord Voldemort kills Frank Bryce. Harry witnesses this in a vivid dream and is awoken by severe pain in his scar. Mr. Weasley, Fred, George, Harry, Ron, Hermione and Ginny set off towards Stoats Head Hill to locate the port key that will transport them to the Quidditch World Cup campsite. Along the way, they encounter Amos and Cedric Diggory, who travel with them to the event. Britain hosts the Quidditch World Cup final between Ireland and Bulgaria. Late that evening, chaos erupts at the Quidditch World Cup campsite as hooded Death Eaters appear and cruelly suspend a Muggle family in midair. When the Dark Mark is conjured, Harry, Ron and Hermione are questioned. The Hogwarts Express brings the students back to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. First years are sorted into their houses by the Sorting Hat. Professor Mad-Eye Moody transforms Draco Malfoy into a white ferret as punishment for attempting to cast a spell at Harry when Harry's back was turned. Professor Moody educates his students on the 3 unforgivable curses in his first Defense Against the Dark Arts class. Hermione Granger's 15th birthday. The delegations from Beauxbatons Academy and Durmstrang Institute arrive at Hogwarts. When Fred and George Weasley attempt to fool the Goblet of Fire's age line to enter their names to complete in the Triwizard Tournament, they are hurled into the air and thrown 10 feet away onto the floor of the Great Hall, and both sprout identical, long white beards. Harry's name is selected by the Goblet of Fire, despite the fact that he never submitted his name for the tournament. As his name also comes out of the Goblet of Fire, Harry is declared the second champion for Hogwarts and must compete against Victor Crumb, Fleur Delacour and Cedric Diggory. Rita Skeeter interviews Harry Potter for the Daily Prophet in a broom cupboard using her Quick Quotes quill. At 1 a.m., Harry speaks to his godfather, Sirius Black, via the fireplace in the Gryffindor common room. Harry and Hermione practiced summoning charms in preparation for the first task. The first task of the Triwizard Tournament involves retrieving a golden egg that is guarded by a ferocious dragon. Harry blindly selects the most dangerous of all varieties of dragons for this task, the Hungarian Horntail. Anxious to find a date for the Yule Ball, Harry asks Cho Chang to accompany him. Unfortunately, she's already been asked to the ball by Cedric Diggory. Hogwarts, Durmstrang and Beauxbaton students attend the Yule Ball. The Triwizard Tournament champions and their dates have the first dance. Moaning Myrtle assists Harry in solving the golden egg clue for the second task. The second task of the Triwizard Tournament takes place at the lake. Harry is given extra points for rescuing more than one underwater hostage. Ron Weasley's 15th birthday. Harry learns that in the third task of the tournament, the champions must reach the Triwizard Cup that has been placed by Professor Mad-Eye Moody in the center of a vast enchanted maze. Upon grabbing the Triwizard Cup together, Cedric Diggory and Harry Potter are transported to the graveyard in Little Hangleton. Cedric is quickly killed by Wormtail with the Avada Kedavra curse. Lord Voldemort rises again. Harry Potter duels with Voldemort. Harry narrowly escapes by grabbing the portkey, which transports him back to Hogwarts with the body of Cedric Diggory. Cedric Diggory is remembered at a special end-of-year ceremony.